The forehand ground stroke is one of the biggest weapons today in pickleball. You see the pros swinging effortlessly for power while maintaining great consistency. Today, I'm going to show you step by step how you can hit a high quality forehand. How you grip your paddle is very important because it's going to determine the angle in which your paddle face approaches the ball, which could drastically affect your control of your stroke. So you want to make sure to get this right. There's two options when selecting your grip for your forehand. You can select the continental grip or you can select the Eastern grip. The Eastern grip is generally what people gravitate towards because it's very comfortable and you can put power and spin on the ball quite effortlessly. The most natural way to find your Eastern grip is to shake hands with your paddle. By doing that, you'll generally be in the Eastern grip. But just in case, I want to show you a surefire way to get there. You're going to put your index knuckle of your hand and the heel pad of your hand on bevel number 3 of your paddle. So the top is 1, to the right is 2, and then the side, just like on a clock, is going to be 3. So you're going to put your index knuckle and your heel pad right there to find the Eastern grip. The continental grip is a great option for players that want to utilize one grip for all your strokes in pickleball. You can still hit power and you can still generate spin, just perhaps not quite as much as you can utilizing an Eastern grip on the forehand. The way that you find the continental grip is to pretend like you're going to use your paddle to hammer in a nail. Just in case that doesn't work, you can always put your index knuckle and your heel pad on bevel number 2 of your paddle. So the top bevel is 1 and then the one to the side is 2. So by putting your index knuckle and your heel pad on bevel number 2, you're in the continental grip. Regardless of the grip that you select on your forehand, you want to ensure that your hand is spread out across the paddle. This means that you don't want your hand to be bunched up where it's perpendicular to the paddle handle. You want to have those fingers spread out across the paddle. What this will allow for is it'll allow for somewhat of a trigger finger where you can utilize your hand and your finger to support the paddle head and really manipulate it to do different things with your stroke. The first thing to cover on your forehand technique is to ensure that you're in a good ready position. A good ready position is done when you're on the balls of your feet in an athletic stance. So you're going to be down a little bit where you have some flex in your knees and you're going to be on the balls of your feet ready to react to the oncoming ball. What you don't want to do is stand flat-footed because then you're just not going to be as quick to react to the oncoming ball. Another important thing about the ready position is to be in a ready state mentally, which means that we're actively moving in constant motion, ready to react to that oncoming ball. Because when we're moving and we're light on our feet, we're going to make that first reaction to the ball much quicker than if we were standing in a static position. A great example of a ready position and a ready state is when players are on the balls of their feet bouncing and hitting their split steps before going for the oncoming ball. The first thing that you're going to do when you notice the ball coming is that you're going to get prepared for that oncoming ball. To do that, you're going to turn to the side using your shoulders and hips. Your paddle head is going to be pointing up and your left hand is going to be to the side as well. So what this will look like is you're going to be here, you're going to turn, and both your paddle face and your non-dominant hand are going to be facing the side fence. Now that you're prepared with your paddle head up, you're going to let gravity drop your paddle on edge, meaning that when you're here, your paddle is going to drop downward on edge like this. This is going to place your hand in the right position for where it's going to need to be to make contact with the ball. Once your paddle drops on edge using gravity, your hips are going to pull, which is going to cause a lag of your paddle head. And your hips and shoulders are then going to accelerate your paddle forward into the oncoming ball. This concept of having lag on your forehand ground stroke happens naturally. I do want you to be aware of it from the paddle dropping and then the hips going. You can kind of feel the paddle lag behind, but it's something that's going to develop naturally, and it's not something that you're going to force. The swing path of your paddle is going to be heading in a straight line as it goes towards contacting the ball and a little bit after contact. And the reason for this is to ensure that your ball is more likely to head towards its intended target. So if the paddle head is going in a straight line, whether you're slightly late, on time, or a little bit early for the ball, you still have this window of opportunity to hit the ball to your intended target. Another way to visualize this extension through the ball on your swing path is to think about a line of balls heading towards your intended target. And as you hit the first ball, you have to extend through all 6 before you can follow through. For more advanced players, what ends up happening is they already have an intended target in mind, and because of that, they are naturally extending through the ball because they have the intent of where their ball is going to be going. For the forehand follow through, I like to teach my students to catch their paddle. So once you complete your stroke, I like the non-dominant hand to catch the paddle because it allows for the non-dominant hand to get out of the way of the stroke. If this non-dominant hand does not catch the paddle, sometimes your left shoulder can be fighting the rest of your body and it just gets in the way. So a great habit is to just catch that paddle with your non-dominant hand on your follow through. Another option that you can utilize on the forehand follow through is to have the non-dominant hand just come to your chest. So rather than having your non-dominant hand catch it over the left shoulder, you can have it just rest at the chest so then the left side isn't getting in the way of your stroke. By following these steps, you can definitely have a smoother and more effortless forehand, but it's going to take many hours and many repetitions to get this into muscle memory. So now it's time for you to do your part and go hit the court and put in those repetitions. I will see you on the next video.